Hello everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial for STAMPtember 2024. Today's exclusive limited edition set is the Little Chickadee by Inkon3. There is a stamp die combo as well as a stamp set only. As well as the exclusive limited edition collaboration, I am using the Scalloped Birdhouse from Simon Says Stamp, the Basket Weave Embossing Folder, and the Sterling Labels Embossing Folder and Dies. We're going to start with that Basket Weave Embossing Folder. This is a new product for STAMPtember 2024. And then we are going to start inking up our birdhouse. Starting with some Cabernet and Punch ink. Punch ink first. We're going to ink up the birdhouse with this beautiful dark red color combination. I've die cut all of the components from the Scalloped Birdhouse from white cardstock, and I'm applying the color with my inks. I think the reds are really going to set off this autumnal scene that I'm building today. Around the birdhouse opening and around the perimeter of the birdhouse, I will blend in that Cabernet color, leaving kind of just the lightest color towards the center areas of the birdhouse. As this ink dries and is absorbed into the cardstock, it will smooth out and lighten just a little bit. I'm working on the Simon Says Stamp glass mat for easy cleanup. Next, we have a couple of roof pieces. For the bottom of the birdhouse, I guess we're going to skip to that. I did do Cabernet, and that's going to go down along the bottom edge. The roof also is going to be Cabernet, but that lacy scallop edge we're going to do in kind of a light neutral latte color here in just a second. I couldn't quite decide, so I left it till last. The birdhouse opening itself, we are going to die cut this as well. The opening is going to be inked again with Cabernet. I've kind of done that Cabernet as the accent color for all of the darker areas on the birdhouse. And then the opening itself, I want to do a little charcoal ink. I'm cleaning up my brush just a little. I need to clean up my background as well so I don't accidentally get that color onto any of the other die cut pieces. So for that opening, let's do the charcoal color. I want it to look like you're looking inside of the birdhouse. For me, the Little Chickadee from Inkon3 really works fantastic with this set. This set works great with so many different bird type of images, but I thought it was especially sweet here. And if you love ink or stamp layering, pardon me, this is a great set. All you do is pick out your favorite colors and then stamp them and build the color, no coloring required, which is amazing. That is the latte color for the little scallop, and I think that's going to just be a nice little neutral. Also with the latte ink, we are going to ink up the background of the card, which again is that basket weave that I embossed at the beginning of the video off camera. And I'm very lightly going to take whatever color is left on my blending brush and ink it over the embossed area, the raised part. That's going to catch the majority of the ink, but I want it to just be a really pretty light neutral background. I love that little bit of texture. We don't have to add a ton here, just again, the wonderful texture. Next, we're going to take the Little Chickadee stamp set. It is time to stamp all of these wonderful images. I'm going to start with the chickadee itself and the outline of this image. We're going to ink up with a black fine detail ink. I'm using Hero Arts Intensified Black. Then we are going to start building the color starting with the branch. I am inking this with a little bit of the mocha colored ink from the Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively Saturated Inks. I do like using the Misty for this step in case, I don't want to mess up. I like to be able to line everything up perfectly. There is one small area for the bird that I do think might be a little easier with an acrylic block, but that's completely up to you. I do apologize for my head in the way. Often when I'm doing the stamp layering, I need to get right over top of what I'm stamping to get it lined up the best. This is a little bit of the allspice color one of the new cube colors from the Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Inks. This color has been out for a little bit, but they are coming out with the cubes now for some of their newest color combos, color trios. This little image is the one that is pretty teeny tiny, and I do end up holding off and not stamping it quite yet. So let's line up a couple more of these. They are labeled, so it does give you a very good idea of what comes next and all of that good stuff. Again, I'm sorry. It would be great if I had moved my head. I'm going to move that little stamp out of the way and we'll come back to it. This is the paprika color, I believe. Nope, nutmeg. I knew I'd tell you wrong. So sorry, everyone. That is nutmeg. And now we're going to ink up our next part. That is the paprika color. And again, as the ink dries, as it absorbs, it will smooth out a bit. And there is that color one more time. I did stamp that part a couple times. Isn't it so cute? And then we will finish with this little piece here. Oh, I did use the Misty. I couldn't remember if I used the Misty or did an acrylic block. And there is our Chickadee. Now also in this set are florals and leaves, and we want quite a few of these today because I think it's really going to add to the scene. So lots of greenery, and I do end up doing about 3 florals. I think I only stamp, there's 2 flowers, and I stamp both of them on camera, but I did repeat one of them twice. I like my embellishments in groups of 3, and as I stamped, I die cut, I laid everything out, and I thought, yep, I definitely need that 3rd flower. For the flowers, I did choose to go to my collection of inks and pull out the honey and butter inks from the Pawsitively Saturated Inks, and we are going to use those to stamp our flowers. Of course, the butter will be our light shade. I did do the outlines for all of these images in black. Again, that Hero Arts Intensified Black is what I used. The layering for each flower is going to be in honey. And if I need a 3rd color, I do use that nutmeg, the lightest color that I used for the Chickadee. So very neutrals, browns, the rusty red colors. I really, really wanted this to be more of the autumn feel. Now I think you could use the flowers with or without the outline stamp. That little center stamp that I stamped ends up not showing up great on this one because it would show up really well if you didn't use the outline. But I kind of like the outline for that artistic look. For the leaves, I did use artichoke and kale, my favorite 2 green colors. I did, because there isn't really a layering for this, I did blend both of those colors into the leaves. And then I did stamp the brown of the stems with mocha. Using the sterling label die, I did die cut this from some gold mirror cardstock using the die, and then I place it in the embossing folder and run it through my die cutting machine. I kind of had forgotten about this set, just to be completely honest. You've probably seen me use it here a lot lately. I had forgotten, and it had gotten misfiled in my supplies, and I did a clean out not long ago, found this, and I have been obsessed. I like a little label for all of the things. I think it's fantastic that you can create your own paper labels that look like little metal labels just by embossing them. I did die cut the center inside piece of this from vellum. We are stamping Happy Birthday from the little Chickadee stamp set right on that with clear embossing ink, and we will heat emboss with white embossing powder. I did do a little cleanup with my pick and place tool where I found a couple of stray embossing embossing powder flakes that weren't where I wanted them to be. So I did do a tiny cleanup, and then I am simply going to heat set this. I love a nice white embossing on vellum. I just do. I could do that all day long. I just love the look of the white embossing. I think gold would have been pretty here too, but I was a little afraid it would compete with the gold of the frame. I want to place my little label here at the top of the birdhouse. I think that will be super sweet, but let's start attaching the birdhouse to the design first, and then we can attach all of our embellishments and things, and finally add that greeting. So I want to start by placing the roof piece on the scallop, and really you can use this with or without. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. Then we're going to glue this down to the top of the birdhouse. And then we are going to pop the entire birdhouse up on our background with a little foam, a little or a lot of foam adhesive. Oh, and also the opening for our birdhouse. Imagine dangling some little ornaments or lights or greenery from this birdhouse for a completely different look. I will link to another video at the end of this one where I use this birdhouse in another way, so definitely check that out. Inside the birdhouse opening, I am going to just put a little glue and then press my circle down in place. I love the dimension where that is on the inside of the card. I think it looks great. Then we're going to attach our label. I did have to wrangle that label just a little bit underneath the scallop of the roof of the house. I wanted it to kind of be sitting right above the opening, all of that good stuff. And I did hide my adhesive for the vellum sentiment back behind the embossed area. Along the bottom edge, we're going to use a skinny, thin adhesive strip, and we're going to pop that right here down on the bottom of our birdhouse. So it's popped up as well, and that was very intentional. Oh, I have a hard time lining that up, didn't I? Because I like that little bit of dimension, and it allows us to kind of sit our bird and our leaves and our flowers and all of that. And look how fantastic this bird looks with this set. Fun fact, I did end up removing the label from my card before that glue was completely set. Something about it wasn't sitting right with me. It's still sitting there on my desk, and we will re-add it here in just a second. Now, I'm very careful with where I'm placing my foam for the rest of the images, meaning if something else is already popped up, like the bottom of the birdhouse, I'm not going to put foam where that part of the chickadee image on the branch sits on top of that. I'm also wanting to place, I want it to look like a branch filled with flowers, kind of laying across the front of this birdhouse and one peeking out from behind. Some of the leaves are going to be attached directly to the card base, some will be popped up with foam, and some will be stuck around additional flowers. I definitely stamped more greenery than anything else. I've talked about this in other videos, but the more greenery you have, the more it really balances out everything about the design, in my opinion. I just love all of those little pops of green. It would look much plainer without those little pieces. Lots of little individual leaves and lots of those little dual leaves as well. Look at that coming to life. Absolutely precious. I love it so, so much. We're going to just tuck in a couple more little pieces here. I'm going to use my tweezers to help hold that glue down while it's drying. And I did create or perform a little surgery to my flower just to make that tuck underneath the house a little bit better. So I snipped a little bit off so it looks like it's peeking out from behind. Okay, I'm super happy with this. We are going to go back and I'm going to reattach my label. This time I am going to set it kind of on top of the scallop. I think that's what I wasn't loving before. And I did completely luck out that I did not have to redo anything. I'm going to put some acrylic blocks on top though to help hold that flat while it's drying. The final couple things we're going to do is add a bit of spatter. This is the Spellbinders Onyx Silk for a little black spatter. I am obsessed with it. I absolutely love it. And I like that you kind of just tap it and you get these nice little splatter or spatters all over. So there is that. And then I'm going to take some Smoky Topaz Spellbinders gems and we are going to decorate our birdhouse. Yes, this is a tiny bit extra because any of the scallops showing are getting these little teeny tiny enamel, or pardon me, enamel. These little gems, the little teeny tiny ones. And I purposely waited till the end because I don't want to waste my gems back behind what might get covered up with florals and birds and all of that. So this is something I purposely waited until the end to adhere because, again, I'm not going to waste any of these precious gems. These are my favorite, and I really, really love the smoky topaz color. I think they are beautiful. So I'm just going to continue to add these. I like the little bit of sparkle it adds to the scallop birdhouse. I feel like the birdhouse, it's not the shape of this, but it almost has an acorn type of vibe. Like the little scallops could be like the top of an acorn or something. I don't know. Anyway, I like this for embellishing. Okay, I really, really wanted to do something else. Like I feel like that the card is missing something, and it's up at the top. There's a lot going on in the bottom half of that card. What I ended up doing was taking 4 lengths of this gold thin twine from Spellbinders. It's very, very thin, and I just made a bow out of these 4 strands. And the great thing is this is going to add the perfect little finishing touch right there to the roof of the house. So I'm going to just snip those ends a little bit. We'll put a little dab of glue up here at the top of the birdhouse, and we're going to seal it all with that perfect little bow. How cute is that? Then we're going to take a black jelly roll pen, and I'm just kind of squiggling this on actually my card front, but it's going to get covered, but scrap paper would work as well. And I am going to color in the eye and the beak of the bird with my black pen to make them glossy and really stand out. Then I'm going to take the inside of my card, and I am going to stamp one of the other phrases from the little Chickadee stamp set inside to finish it off perfectly. Wow, words are hard. And it says, "Hope your day is as sweet as you are." I placed glue on the front of the panel, placed my little scene down, and our card is all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this STAMPtember limited edition exclusive from Inkon3 called Little Chickadee. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new video. Thanks for watching!